So, hello everyone. We're from Accenture. So today we're just going to be taking you through our journeys into Accenture, what Accenture actually does, the application process, and what life is actually like at Accenture, along with all the day-to-day perks that we have. So, thank you. So, just a little introduction. I'm Teyah, I'm a technology apprentice, and I've been with Accenture for just over a year. So I'm based in Newcastle, and I moved to Accenture after doing my A-levels. So I had quite a STEM-heavy background before I joined, because I did maths, physics, and computing, which did help with the apprenticeship, but they're not necessary by any means. So in my role, I've worked on legacy applications, devised a monitoring solution from start to finish, helped write low-level documents that help aid the government systems, and I've been working on a cloud migration for a government project since I started Accenture, and it's a project that I'm still on. Outside of my day-to-day activities, I like helping out with outreach programs. So we have little sessions for schools just to pique people's interest in technology and introduce them to new coding languages or technologies they might not have heard of. Action Tutoring is a charity that essentially aims to get tutors to people in underprivileged areas. And also, I like doing sessions like these to encourage more women to join technology roles, because there's not as many women in tech, and it's just a cause I feel quite strongly about, having been one of many few women in my computer science classes all the way throughout high school. Outside of work, I enjoy playing sports. So I play a fair bit of badminton and tennis. I like doing puzzles, quite a logical person, so really enjoy that. And as always, I've been guilty of a few challenges throughout lockdown. I love my job at Accenture because we have the option to work flexibly. So you can work the hours that suit you, as long as you get the work done that's set for the day and your line manager's aware. You're happy to work hours that suit you, so just whenever you want. And also, just because you're an apprentice, people still take your opinions on board, and you're still treated with the same respect and responsibility as a permanent employee. So all of your suggestions are taken on board, and also you have an opportunity to learn from people who are experts in their field. So, and there's also a strong support network. So Accenture's an amazing place to work because of that. There's also a lot of recognition schemes, and it's always lovely knowing that the work you do and the amount of effort you put in is acknowledged. So that's another reason I like working for Accenture. I'll pass on to Teyah.
Thank you. So hi everyone, I can't see any of you, but that's okay. I'm Teyah. I'm a technology degree apprentice, like I mentioned, and I started last year, so I've been here for just over a year now. I'm on the London scheme, so it's a 3-year course, and I started originally at A-level by studying maths, Spanish, and physics. And I really enjoyed them. I wanted to do computer science, but my school didn't run that as an option. So unfortunately, I couldn't take it. But once I finished A-levels, I actually wanted a bit of a break, and I decided to take a gap year before I came to Accenture. That was really valuable to me, and I do think it's a good point to mention here that if you are very uncertain as to what you want to do, or if you're certain that you just want a bit of a break from education, getting a gap year in is a really great time to do that. When you have a plan and you know what you want to do. I, for example, went to Madrid and I worked as an English teacher in a school there for the entirety of my gap year. But it helped develop my skills a lot, and it helped me figure out a bit better what I wanted to do. So when I came back, I had a very clear idea of, right, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to achieve, and this is how I'm going to do it. I've had a bunch of different roles. I'm actually on my 6th role, I think, now in a year, which just goes to show the contrast between Mrugai and I. You really can shape and do exactly what you want when you're at Accenture. If you want to stay in one role and learn loads and loads on that role, you absolutely can. But if you want to jump around and work on different roles in different projects, like I've wanted to, trying out the technical and the business side of things, you can absolutely do that as well. So I've used AWS, which is Amazon Web Services, a cloud platform, if you've not heard of it. I've been doing lots of problem solving and process refinement and improvement, and those were more businessy roles that I did. At the moment, I'm working on blockchain technology, so that's once again something that's quite new and innovative and completely different to anything that I've ever done before. And I've never done any of this stuff before. Everything that I'm doing and that I have done in my roles has been completely new, but I've had an amazing team of people around me to support me in terms of my learning and my development. And those are the roles that I worked on in the projects that you can see there. So I've worked at a bank, I've worked in public service, I've worked in health insurance, and I've worked for some more private and internal clients as well. So just goes to show the variety of what you can get involved in. In terms of side of desk stuff or what I do in work that isn't necessarily related directly to my project, I'm leading a social mobility program at a secondary school in the area that I went to secondary school. So that's been really, really exciting and nice to go into school again, but not as a student this time. And outside of work, I also volunteer at a food bank. That's really cool. And I love Netflix, the Spanish side particularly, because they have some really great shows there. And I really like baking as well. In terms of the things that I enjoy and that I love about my job at Accenture, I think it's fantastic because I've come in as someone who knows that I have a passion for technology, but doesn't know exactly where I want to end up. And so I've been able to learn new things all the time, work with technologies that I didn't even know existed, and meet people who are just absolutely amazing and really, really supportive in every sense. And the people are, to me, what make Accenture so great because they are so smart, like they're so intelligent, they know so much stuff, but that doesn't stop them, or someone's like seniority or busyness doesn't stop them from helping you, from supporting you. So not only do I get to work with these really amazing people who have done some like superb things, but I get to learn from them, I get to speak to them, I get to know them as a person, as an individual. All the things that I do are hands-on. I'm not doing anything that's not serving a purpose. And there's always something new and exciting to learn about, to do. And there's a lot of room as well for developing your own skills and whatever it is you want to learn more about. So that's what makes Accenture fantastic for me. Moving on, as just a quick highlight or overview of what we're going to go through in this session, we are going to share a little bit about what Accenture is as a company, as an organization, so who we are, what we do. We're going to talk more specifically about our programs, our apprenticeship programs, the London and the Newcastle scheme. We will then go into a bit more detail in terms of the application process, what it looks like, how it works, and personal experiences with it. And finally wrap up with life at Accenture, so the not work side of things, and what else people get up to when they're not doing their projects. To start, I'm going to be showing a short video just to give a brief introduction. I really hope it works. I also really hope the sound works. I'm not sure if it will, but we'll give it a go. Fingers crossed.
Whose job is it to improve the world? It can feel like it's inevitable that someone, somewhere, will invent the tech that helps us take the next step forward. But it's not. Technology has the power to improve the world, but it won't. Not without human intelligence, our ideas, our ideals. Technology can help us get there, but it won't show us where to go. That relies on bold ideas and the desire to build a better future. It won't come by asking the same old questions. It isn't tweaking the same old answers. Building a better future can't rely on doing things the way they've always been done. That future can be built by anyone ready to think differently. The ones willing to ask, why not? The ones who look, listen, and ask, why can't this be better? Why can't that be you? There's no set vision of the future, our future. It's going to be the one you live in. So who says you can't be part of making a better one? There's no one path to making a breakthrough, and there's no one person responsible. It might start with a thought, an idea, an invention, but there's no innovation without collaboration. It begins when different people bring different ideas and different perspectives together. We need new ways of looking at old challenges, fresh experience examining new problems. It's taking the tools that already exist and asking that one question to deliver results that have never been seen. No one is saying it's easy, but if you think it's not for you, ask yourself, who else can do what you can do? Your experience, your perspective, your ideas will unlock a version of the future. We won't make progress by staying still. We won't improve the world without creating something new. And we can't do that without you. Accenture.
Cool. So that was a little bit of a high-level overview into Accenture as a company, and essentially just the idea that we like to do things new. We like to find technologies to solve new problems and figure out new ways and better ways of doing things that we currently do. Accenture as a company is a consulting and technology organization, and we're divided into lots of different sectors. But those are pretty much the main parts of what we do. We use technology, and with our expertise and our skills, we help our clients, so pretty much any other company that you can think of, to solve their problems, to improve their solutions, to make more money, whatever that might be, whatever their goal is, we help them to achieve that. The way that we do this is lots of different ways. Either it can be implementing new technologies, it can be changing strategies. We have loads and loads of different skill sets at Accenture, and all of those, when you combine them and put them together and hand them over in a nice shiny package to a client, are the way that we actually achieve those amazing results for them. Once again, it's about successfully delivering and implementing those solutions, not just using shiny new technology. And that is also part of what we do at Accenture. You can see the 5 things at the bottom. So increasing profit, redefining business strategies, gaining a greater market share, offering better customer experiences, and working with technologies are all things that we do at Accenture for our clients to help them solve problems. But we also do it for ourselves because we are an organization too. And the things that we can do can also be improved upon and made better. So what we do at Accenture for our clients is also what we do internally for ourselves.
So we've just got some figures on this slide, just so you guys can imagine sort of the sheer amount of employees that we have. And so we've got 624,000 Accenture employees worldwide. So it's quite a lot of people, and they are all based in 200 locations across 50 countries. So it's quite a worldwide spread organisation. We've got $50.5 billion in global revenue just from the fiscal year that's just passed, and that number keeps increasing per year. We serve more than 6,000 clients, some of which will come up on the next screen, in more than 120 countries. So that's a lot of clients that we all have heard of and also do interact with in our day-to-day life. And also we have the experience and skill specializations needed for over 40 industries. So just putting into perspective the amount of work and how widespread Accenture is as an organization. So these are some of the clients that Accenture deal with. This is just a small selection. And these are probably the ones that people will be most likely to have heard of. So I'll just pause for a minute if you guys want to have a look at the screen and just see what kind of organisations we deal with on a daily basis. because we've got clients ranging from governments, so such as HMRC, DWP, to even financial services like Lloyds Bank, and even things you wouldn't expect like Disney Channel or Discovery Channel. So it's quite a wide range of clients that we have here. Go on to the next slide, please. So as Teyah mentioned before, these are the sectors that Accenture currently specialise in. So we've got strategy and consulting, which is where we identify solutions for our clients to transform their business. We've got interactive to create meaningful experiences. Technology, which is where Teyah and I work. So here we do business transformation and deliver the end result to the clients to help them better their experiences and their workflows. We've also got operations, which essentially deliver operating models to drive business value. So
now, sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, we're going to get into the entry-level programs now. So those are the apprenticeships. This is the bit that I know I definitely would have been waiting for. So I'll get straight into it. We're going to talk about the London apprenticeship scheme first, and then you'll hear about the Newcastle one. So this is quite a lot of information, but I'll go through it all on the London apprenticeship scheme. The general idea and the most important thing is that we, at the end of our degree, so at the end of our 3 years, we will have a degree in digital and technology solutions, which I think is just a fancy way of saying business and computer science, with a specialism in IT consulting. And all the while through, we'll be working as a full-time employee and gaining some serious hands-on industry experience in cutting-edge technologies and working with some really key clients. The way that it's set up, like I mentioned earlier, we have Mondays for university and the rest of the week we spend at work. There are times when we have block modules, so 2 weeks straight of university. And there are times when university is on holiday and we work 5 days a week, like a completely normal employee, like anyone else. In terms of the salary, which is always an important thing for people to hear about, you can see the amount that we earn up there. So first year is just under 18 grand, second year is just under 20 grand, and third year jumps up to just under 30 grand. The reason it jumps up in year 3 is because at that point we will have obtained our degree, and that is the entry level salary for the roles that we do at Accenture as degree apprentices, whether those be business roles or technology roles. The formal training throughout that you can see there in the structure section is to do with our university. So we're partnered with the University of East London, and so when COVID wasn't a thing, we would go in every week for our lectures and our block modules and all the things that I mentioned. And all of that skills learning and earning and everything that we get there can be in loads and loads of different areas and subjects. You can see a couple there. So digital, web, data, cloud computing, application, project management, infrastructure development. That is not even a fraction of the things that we can learn about and the things that we can do in our daily jobs. But they are some of the big areas and they are some of the most popular areas. In terms of logistics, it's based in London. So we have our headquarters office on Fenchurch Street, which is like near Bank Station. And our university is obviously in East London. It's Uni of East London. In terms of the entry requirements, it's a minimum of 80 UCAS points. And having a passion for technology is really, really important. It might not seem like a very key thing out of this slide, but it is really important because you're going into an environment where you are literally constantly surrounded by technology. Even if you're on the business side of things, tech is what allows you to do your job. It's what enables you. And so having a passion for tech, whether that is you want to learn more about it, you want to know how it works, you want to use it to solve problems, that is a really, really key part of it. In terms of the recruitment process, it's very similar to other apprenticeship schemes. So you have your online application where you submit all your data, all your information. Once you get past that point and just the general background checks, there's what's called the discovery portal. So a bunch of online, like psychometric tests, that sort of thing, where they want to find out a bit more about you, about your personality. Then you have the assessment center stage, pre-COVID, that was going in. and having a really cool assessment centre. I had mine just before COVID kicked in, and I got to have like a VR headset, and I got to do one of the assessments that way. There was like a presentation that we had to do. There's a lot of different aspects to it, but the idea of the assessment centre is you get to demonstrate how you work in a team, your passion for tech, all of those things that you've been saying and proving throughout your application process. It's that chance that you really get to make it show. And finally, it ends with a technical interview. That might be with someone who's a bit more senior in the company and who's possibly one of the apprentice leads, but you just speak to them and they're really friendly and it's more of a conversation than it is a scary interview. That's what the apprenticeship process is like in London. I'll now hand over to Margaya to share what it's like in Newcastle.
Thank you. So I'll start this off because I see that Cassie has put a question in. So I think Accenture offer either a 2-year degree course or a 3-year degree course. I'm not sure if they offer the 2-year degree course anywhere but Newcastle. So what they do is if you're based in Newcastle or you apply to the Newcastle scheme, what you'll do is you'll go through a boot camp. So that's normally the first month after you join. And in boot camp, they'll decide whether or not you have the potential to do the 2-year course or whether it's easier to do the 3-year course instead. So if you do the 3-year course for Newcastle, you essentially just have a year at college where they brush you up on the basics of computing. So it's like a foundational year before you do the 2-year degree course. And if you do just the 2-year degree course, and that's a 2-year course with Newcastle College. So it's essentially just a 3-year degree course compressed into 2. So unfortunately, you don't get the summer holiday breaks. And you have study days throughout the summer holidays, so you can still continue taking a day off a week if you want to focus on the uni side of things. So that's the only real difference. And similar to London, we have Mondays as our uni days, and Tuesday through Friday, you're at work. Unfortunately, our salaries are not near as high as London's, but you know, they get you by in Newcastle. So for the first year, we've got 14,400, 16,200 in the second year, and 18,000 in the third year. I'm not sure if this will be applicable for next year, but they also do offer a cash incentive of 2,000 if you do complete the degree. So, you know, there's also a little incentive added to encourage more people to do the degree. I don't believe there's a set condition or you have to receive certain grades to get it. So obviously achievable for everyone. And then again, so as I said, Newcastle College, and then you can choose whether or not you want to do the software engineering pathway or the cybersecurity pathway. So normally from every year we have 2 students that end up going down the cybersecurity pathway. It's important that if you want to go down that pathway, you do let your apprentice lead know, because otherwise they pick people that are in security roles. So if you do want to do the cybersecurity, just let that be known. Otherwise, most people do tend to just do the software engineering degree. And just a quick overview. So the entry requirements are that, so based in Newcastle, so if you do apply for Newcastle scheme and you live further down, you would be expected to travel up at least for the college days, as the college is now open and we are expected to go in every Monday. You do require a GCSE in maths and English. I think it's over level 6 that you need. So as long as you have that, that's all you need. You don't need any technical experience beforehand. You just need a passion for technology. And then the recruitment process, I'll go into a little bit more detail on the next slide. Yep, so we've got the application process. So when you apply for an apprenticeship with Accenture, I think applications will open around November-ish this time, so it's quite handy to check the website regularly just for updates, so you don't miss out on the dates, because I know they open and close pretty quickly as soon as they have the number of people that they need. So definitely something to keep an eye on. So first of all, you apply online, you build your own profile. So you have to list all of your education, and you also have to answer a few other questions just so they can get an idea about you as a candidate. Then you get to do the discovery portal. So essentially, it's an interactive website where they put you in different scenarios and ask you to do a few questions, and it's just little challenges and tests. So nothing major, but it's just to see your analytical skills and your logical thinking. And then once you get through that, we've got the big assessment centre. It's virtual now because of COVID. So unfortunately I wasn't able to experience the cool VR things. I had to do it all from home, but it starts off with and I think we had to do a presentation first of all. So it's broken down into three things. First bit, it's a technical challenge. So what they do is they pose you with a scenario, and they give you some time to sort of come up with your solution. It doesn't have to be super technical, but just enough so they can get an idea of what your logical thinking's like. And then you're asked to narrate it back to your interviewer. Then you've just got a quick presentation that you have to prepare beforehand. And then you've also got the tech interview. So one thing I would stress for the tech interview is that you don't have to be, again, technical to do it. You just have to show that you have a passion for technology and you've been keeping up to date. That's all.
I'm conscious that we've got literally like 3 minutes left, so I'll go through this quite quickly. But in terms of if you need any reasonable adjustments, whether that be through any medical or non-visual disability, or just anything that you have that you need support with, it's really important that you make that known and you flag that in the application process as early as possible. It just means that you'll be able to get the support that you need whilst you're going through the application process, and you won't be at any sort of structural disadvantage to your peers. So if you do have that option, that sounds helpful for you, make sure you flag it. Make a note of the email that's here, accenture.support@accenture.com, or contact the candidate support team whilst you're going through the process. Wrapping up really quickly, our Life at Accenture section is the bit that I mentioned at the beginning, was all the things that people do that aren't necessarily their project. And it's a lot of things, and it's kind of a bit like what you expect from a university when you go and there's like societies and groups that you can join and get involved with. Those are loads of different things, from cultural groups like African and Caribbean Network, or mental health allies, LGBTQ allies, or running club. It could be things like sports, things like wine tasting or food. There's loads and loads of different networks to get involved with, and they're all really exciting. And it just means that you get to meet a lot of new people from literally all over the globe that share interests with you. So if you do join Accenture and you want to get involved, that's one of the best ways to do it, and find and meet new people. We also get 3 paid volunteer days per year, so we call them our charity days. And that basically means that any sort of charity initiative that you want to support, Accenture will quite literally pay you to go and do that in your own time. You can choose when you take them, you can split them up. And that's what I've been doing with the social mobility program that I've been running, and that's been absolutely fantastic. We get a good holiday allowance. I'm not sure if it's the same for everyone, but we get the standard 25 days plus additional study days. As uni students, I think we get about 6 study days. So it adds up, and there's also the chance to roll over your days if you don't use them at the end of the year. So that's in terms of the like networking and social side of Accenture.
I think instead of going through the other benefits, I think there's a few questions on the chat. So
cool. Let's answer them.
So to apply for the cyber role, you just apply for the Newcastle apprenticeship like you would. And essentially, once you are on the apprenticeship, if you are doing the 2-year course, you just have to make it known to the apprentice lead that you would like to do the cybersecurity role. And essentially, they would take it from there. So there's not any additional steps that you do need to do for that.